Success is often painted as a smooth, linear journey, an inevitable destination reached by the fortunate few. However, history's greatest achievers tell a very different story, and perhaps one of the few individuals who have exemplified the gritty, unglamorous path to success is none other than Thomas Edison. Known for inventing the incandescent light bulb, Edison's journey was far from a stroke of genius. In fact, it was a relentless pursuit paved with a lot of failures. But it's these very failures that shaped him into one of the greatest inventors of all time. Today, we'll explore how Edison's failures weren't setbacks, but stepping stones toward his monumental success. We often hear about Edison as the brilliant inventor who lit up the world. However, what we rarely acknowledge is the grueling process that took him there. When Edison set out to perfect the light bulb, he wasn't starting from a blank slate. He had already accumulated years of experience, both successful and failed. Moreover, he also learned from the mistakes of other inventors and scientists who tried to come up with this invention, but who weren't necessarily successful in doing so. But the light bulb wasn't just another invention, it was like an obsession. Born in 1847 in Milan, Ohio, Thomas Alva Edison came from modest beginnings. His father was a struggling businessman, and his mother, a former schoolteacher, played a significant role in shaping young Edison's character. Edison was not a conventional child, far from it. At the age of 7, his teachers labeled him addled, a term that implied he was unfocused or unable to learn properly. Rather than being discouraged, Edison's mother pulled him out of school and decided to homeschool him herself. Edison's mother believed in fostering her son's curiosity rather than constraining it. This allowed him the freedom to explore, question, and experiment, all traits that would serve him well in his later years as an inventor. Edison had developed a deep fascination with how things worked, particularly mechanical and electrical devices. By this time, he had embarked on his first entrepreneurial venture. He sold newspapers and snacks on trains. Not content with just selling products, Edison used this opportunity to print his own newspaper on the train, which he titled the Grand Trunk Herald. This was an early indication of his inventive spirit, as he wasn't just interested in selling what already existed. He wanted to at least try to create something new. However, life threw Edison a major curveball when he started losing his hearing as a teenager. Many people might have viewed this as a debilitating handicap, but Edison saw it differently. He credited his hearing loss for allowing him to concentrate more deeply on his work, undistracted by outside noise. Even at a young age, Edison was learning how to turn obstacles into advantages. In his late teens, Edison started working as a telegraph operator. It was during this time that he developed a deeper understanding of electrical circuits and mechanical devices. You see, telegraphy was one of the most cutting-edge technologies of the time, and Edison's experience with it led the groundwork for his future innovations. Later on, he ended up working different jobs, but he always had a deep passion for experimentation, constantly testing new ideas and pushing boundaries in his relentless pursuit of knowledge and invention. After dealing with some failures with some of his first inventions, Edison tasted success with some of his key creations, such as the improved stock ticker, a device that allowed the transmission of stock prices over telegraph lines more effectively. His work on the stock ticker attracted the attention of the Gold and Stock Telegraph Company, which bought the rights to the invention for around $40,000. This was a significant amount at the time and provided Edison the much needed capital to continue working on new ideas. On top of that, the quadruplex telegraph, another one of his key inventions, which allowed 4 messages, 2 in each direction, to be sent simultaneously over a single telegraph line, helped him increase his financial resources as he sold the rights to this invention to Western Union, another major company, for a substantial sum. With all of these early successes, the bright inventor was able to fund and establish his first laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Despite his early successes, Edison's greatest challenge still lay ahead: the invention of the incandescent light bulb. When he set out to create a commercially viable light bulb in the late 1870s, he faced a daunting task. The problem wasn't inventing a light bulb, as various versions already existed. The challenge was creating a bulb that could last long enough to be practical for everyday use. Edison and his team conducted thousands of experiments, testing materials like platinum and even human hair as filaments, none of which worked. Failure after failure, they still hadn't found the right solution. Edison could have easily given up. After all, no one would have blamed him for abandoning what seemed like an impossible project. But instead of quitting, Edison famously said, quote, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." For him, every failed experiment was a step forward, a piece of the puzzle that brought him closer to success. After years of effort and those 10,000 failures, Edison finally struck gold in 1879 when he found that carbonized bamboo could serve as a long-lasting filament. The incandescent light bulb had finally been born, illuminating not just rooms, but an era. Edison's invention of the light bulb transformed the world, making him a household name and catapulting him into the annals of history. But his rise to glory wasn't just about the light bulb. It was about his relentless drive to innovate. Over the course of his career, Edison accumulated over 1,000 patents, including the phonograph and motion picture camera, each one a testament to his belief in the power of perseverance. Edison's story isn't just about one man's genius. It's a story about resilience, curiosity, and the ability to see failure not as a setback, but as an opportunity. His childhood curiosity, entrepreneurial spirit, and fearless experimentation led him down a path that would revolutionize the world. And at the core of it all was a mindset: to embrace failure as an essential ingredient in the recipe for success. In many ways, his approach mirrors modern entrepreneurship. Successful startups, for example, don't usually launch perfectly. They pivot and often fail before they hit their stride. This process, much like Edison's experiments, is where real progress happens. Perfection isn't required to start. What's required is the resilience to keep going. In Edison's own words, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Will you?